I'm one of those weirdos who likes collecting video games and movies physically. I remember back before the pandemic started, I would go shopping every couple weeks to pick up a new game, movie, or even a book. And it was a lot of fun. While browsing through the massive libraries to choose what games I can afford was a fun activity, something about owning that very movie or book or game that I loved was a very special feeling indeed. Now, I know what you're thinking.
Why don't you buy all this digitally? Discs are inferior in every way. They take up too much space and can break very easily.
True, but come on. There's this unexplainable feeling of nostalgia I get when buying physical media. Something that can't be easily replicated with digital purchases. Don't get me wrong, going digital does have its positives, but nothing really beats looking at your collection at 3 in the morning and saying, man, I am not playing this anytime soon, am I? So, what's the point of this video? If I were to be honest, I'm not so sure. I guess I just wanted to gush about the awesomeness of physical media in a world where the dreaded streaming services are taking over. And here are some things I've collected over the years and have fond memories of. I hope you enjoy. Here we go. Half-Life 2 on the original Xbox is really interesting. The fact that a game that looks this good can run on the original Xbox, I think that's pretty neat. Let's see, what else? Yeah, Deadpool, probably one of the funniest games out there, I think. Gameplay is a bit repetitive, but that's not that much of an issue. The writing is so good, and well, North is pretty awesome. Gears. Yeah, this was like really cheap, like $5 or so, but never got around to it. Maybe one day. A lot of people seem to like it, so should be good. Oh man, the Halo games. 3, ODST, and Halo 4. I only played the original Halo via backwards compatibility. It's pretty fun. But I heard like the story gets better as the series goes on, which is pretty neat. Max Payne 3, haven't played it. Mirror's Edge, a unique game. Like it focuses on parkour, which is neat. Man, I feel like I'm just going through most of these. Oh, the PlayStation 3. I have a really soft spot for the system, since this is what really got me into gaming. I'm sure the Wii was the first console I used, but I know, this is when I really got into the good stuff, like the Arkham games, Asylum, specifically Arkham City. Oh, Journey, this game is just so good. And the fact that there's a physical copy of it with a lot of extra content, comes with Flower and Flow and a whole lot more stuff. I think that's neat. Alright, so I decided to change the camera because the last one wasn't that good. Hopefully it's better. I hope the audio is also working as well. So we're talking the PS3, right? And yeah, I was just talking about how awesome Journey was. Another few other stuff that really stood out to me. Oh, the orange box. I mean, this was also, I also had this on the 360, but you know, it's great nonetheless, no matter what system it's on. I think it's fantastic that that console players have the chance to play these classic games. I mean, first Portal especially is like really awesome. Second one's great as well. Oh boy, this is a controversial one. The Silent Hill HD. Okay, I don't know what happened. The video just suddenly stopped right when it said Silent Hill HD Collection. Never knew it was that controversial that even this camera hates it, but this is probably the cheapest way to play Silent Hill 2 and 3. And people say this port is bad, but I played some of Silent Hill 2 on here. It doesn't perform the best, but it's far from unplayable, you know? I mean, if you have the PS2 copy, or heck, the PC version, which is super hard to find since it's out of print, well, so is the PS2 version, but I'll say play those instead. But if this is the only version you can find, you know, it doesn't hurt to play through them, because Silent Hill 2 is still a fantastic game. I personally don't like it as much as everyone else, but it's still pretty neat. What else? Oh yeah. Oh, actually, let's start here. Bloodstone. Now, this isn't exactly the best game ever made. It's a pretty cool Bond game, but it's fine. You know, it's fun, but it's not like Uncharted or any of the other action games that really leaves an impact. But it's a fun game, and the reason why I'm mentioning this is because it's the first PS3 game I beat, and I just have a lot of fond memories with this. It was still like 2018, just like 3 years ago, but that's when I really got into gaming. I think it was one of those games. And gotta talk about the Uncharted games. Uncharted 2. I sold my copy of Uncharted 3. Strangely, I do have it on the Nathan Drake collection, like a digital copy on it. But yeah, the Uncharted games are so good. I also have a really fun spot for this. Just looking at this cover brings back so many memories. Like, I was really dumb at the time. Like, so seeing a video game where a character goes into the water and his pants actually get wet kind of surprised me. It's like 2018, but I was just getting into gaming. I didn't know much, so that kind of blew me away. So the Xbox 360 and PS3, great consoles. And the games and the consoles are relatively cheap, so I'd recommend getting into it. Oh yeah, I also have this random PS2 game, Resident Evil Code Veronica X. The only PS2 game I have. Weird, huh? But I don't know, the PS2 I never really got into it. Maybe I'll start collecting more games. Some games are really cheap. The games I really want, though, they're extremely expensive. Like the $70, $80, $100 range. But let's go down to the current console. Oh wait, that's NHL 15 on the 360. Yeah, I probably won't play that anytime soon. So I'll go through my favorites. Abzu, not as good as Journey. Like, I believe it was the same composer, some of the same developers, but still a great game. I'd recommend it. It's like 2 hours long, but so don't try to find it at a reasonable price. Say $20 or so. Anything more expensive isn't really worth it. So this is a great game, but it's so darn short. Arkham Knight. Wait, am I just going through all these games? I'm just going through my favorites, I swear, okay. Arkham Knight, not as good as City, but still fun. I haven't finished it, but there are so many awesome moments that I can't possibly call this a bad game. Bioshock the Collection, it's a good deal, and I really like the artwork here. It comes with all the DLC, as well as the 3 games, so that's neat. The Evil Within. Not a big fan of this one. It's a fine game. It goes on for too long. The story isn't that interesting. But it's a challenging game, so if you want that hard survival horror game, it's not a bad choice. Now, The Evil Within 2, on the other hand, oh boy, I really like this game. It mixes open world elements with traditional survival horror, and it works a lot better than you can imagine. And it's not that hard, so I'd recommend this to everyone. Okay, Last of Us 2, I just got that recently, haven't played it. It's pretty controversial. Resident Evil 7. Yeah, this game's really spooky, and it looks really good. Worth playing. Spider-Man. Okay. I have some, this is like the second reason why I wanted a PS4 so badly. First one was Uncharted 4, but it's Spider-Man. Who doesn't like Spider-Man? And the fact there was a new game and with a cool combat system and a fantastic story is really tempting. And yeah, while the PS4 was super expensive, I still think it was worth it. Titanfall 2, haven't played it. Uncharted 4. This is the reason I got a PS4. This game looks so good. It has a great story, fun combat. It's probably one of my favorite games of all time, alongside Journey. Now let's go to the Wii. Oh man, GoldenEye. A first-person shooter on Wii that doesn't suck. Resident Evil 4. Man, this game's so good, and it's one of those games that really got me into gaming. The fact that a Wii game, was super awesome, kicked so much ass, was just pretty cool. Now, if I really want to go down the nostalgia route, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, it's a pretty good game. My favorite game of all time? No, but the nostalgia for it's really strong to me, and multiplayer was always pretty fun. Smash Brawl. Oh, this, man, it was so, I got this at a reasonable price, and playing this with a friend or sibling is a lot of fun. Here I have some PC games, but They're more for show. Not sure if they still work. They look like VHS tapes. There's like 3 discs in some of them. Yeah. But the sad thing is people don't really use discs anymore with Steam and all that. So those are video games that kind of stood out in my collection, like ones I have strong memories and that I like. And I think the fact is, I really love collecting video games. Yeah, true, you could always go for the digital version of one these days, but I don't know, it's a lot of fun, and when there's a game you're really passionate about and you have a physical copy of it, it feels good. Is it a form of OCD? I don't know, but it's pretty neat, and I think I'll continue collecting video games. Moving on to Blu-Rays. Actually, on the second thought, I should probably go with DVDs first, since there's a lot I've been collecting far longer, and yeah, and there's a lot of nostalgia with it. The Evil Dead movies. Oh yeah, this is in like very rough chronological order. They're weird, great movies. Army of Darkness I have a soft spot for. You know, horror comedy. I'm not sure if that's a genre for everyone, but it's a lot of fun. Memento, one of Christopher Nolan's first movies. Haven't seen it. The Dark Knight. Everyone loves this movie for a good reason. Paranormal Activity. Got this Oh, I hit something. Okay. Paranormal Activity. I got this recently and I haven't watched it. This was like when the franchise was still fresh. I remember seeing it a long time ago and that was spooky, but who knows? I'll check it out sometime. Oh boy, the Naked Gun movies. Oh, these are so hilarious. They're like slapstick comedies, but they're a lot of fun. I would recommend it for sure. And Leslie Nielsen's just so funny in the role. Yeah. Like, definitely the late 80s comedy that I really like. Yeah. Really good. Would recommend the Naked Gun movies. Oh boy. Oh, Hot Fuzz. The reason why I have 2 copies of this is because one of them didn't work. But I kind of lost the receipt and I couldn't really refund it. And it was like $3. It wasn't really worth bothering. So, actually wait, no, the $3 one was when I rebought it. But yeah, this movie's a lot of fun. You know, Edgar Wright, he makes awesome movies. I haven't seen all of them. I did see Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End, but I haven't seen Scott Pilgrim. But I heard that was good. Continuing with comedy, the Clerks movies by Kevin Smith. The first Clerks is an absolute classic. It had a really low budget, but it was a lot of fun, like great dialogue, and kind of a unique premise. It's about clerks, like normal star clerks, and it just shows like with if you're talented, you can make any sort of story interesting and engaging, and that's really neat. So Clerks 2, on the other hand, it's still pretty good. There's a scene in the movie that turns a lot of people off for good reason, and yeah, the movie gets really weird in the third act, but I still think it's pretty good. Oh, the Bond movies. GoldenEye, Casino Royale, Spectre. Really good. GoldenEye and Casino Royale I really love, and Spectre's not as good, but still entertaining. Ash vs. Evil Dead. Man. This show's like, it's a lot of fun. Like, seeing Bruce Campbell return to the role after so many years is just so great. He's really funny. And, yeah, it's a fun show. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Harry Potter movies. Yeah, everyone knows about them. But the interesting thing about this copy is, when I bought it, I believe it was it Sunrise Records? Like, one of the locations. It closed, unfortunately. But, when I got this, there was actually a Japanese track on it. Like, you know, with the options for languages, there's English, French, and Spanish. And even in the back of the box, it says, English, French, and Spanish. Sorry, English, yeah, Spanish. But when I actually put it in, it says Spanish. They had Japanese, which was pretty cool, like a Japanese dub and the Japanese subtitles, and that's really interesting. You know, this is like a American DVD, so you don't really expect that sort of stuff, but it's a cool surprise nonetheless. Oh, Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi movies. This is a pretty cool collection. The only problem is all the DVDs are stacked onto each other, which makes it a pain to get out, but I got this at a really reasonable price, like $7 or something, which is pretty insane. Okay, it's hard doing this with just one hand. Oculus. You know, with these Blumhouse movies, they're really hit or miss. Some of them can be amazing, some of them can be good, some of them are just fine, some of them can be bad. But this is definitely a hit. It's really creepy, and I don't know, the whole concept of a cursed mirror is pretty cool. One of the better recent horror movies. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Not as much as everyone else maybe, but still pretty good. Evil Dead 2. Yeah, this movie's amazing. Moving on. Let's see. Yeah. Now, this is a really interesting collection. It's called the Haunted Anthology on DVD. It comes with Insidious, The Last Exorcism, Blair Witch, 1408, and the others. This was a really solid collection. I like the whole pentagram. Yeah, it's something really cool that I own, and all these movies are pretty solid. I haven't seen the Blair Witch Project, but I like all of these, you know. The Last Exorcism is a really unique movie up until the last 10 minutes, where it kind of sucks, but the movie itself is really good. The others, the plot twist is awesome, but the movie itself I thought was fine. Insidious is probably one of James Wan's best movies. I'd highly recommend it. And 1408, an interesting movie. Not necessarily scary, but still pretty cool. Okay, so the other stack of DVDs. Tomb Raider. This is a video game movie, but it's still a lot of fun. Pretty good. Really like Alicia Vikander in the role. Moving on. Oh yeah, Bleach on DVD. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because anime DVDs are really expensive, but found this for around $10, so that's pretty unique. The MCU DVDs, Age of Ultron, Civil War, and Infinity War. I just have a lot of fond memories for these when I was constantly going over to HMV and buying movies, specifically with Age of Ultron and Civil War. But the thing is, HMV closed down, at least in Canada, which really sucks. I really loved that store. They had such a great selection of DVDs, and it's kind of sad that collecting physical media isn't as popular as it used to be, you know, with streaming services. Not that I hate streaming services. They're definitely pretty convenient, and there are some pros and cons, but it's just kind of sad that these stores are closing down. Moving on, yeah, these are just a lot of these are grabbed at HMV at a reasonable price, and I just have a lot of fond memories with them. Oh, the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies. Yeah, these are like kids movies that don't suck. Like, you know, the family movie that everyone can actually enjoy. They're not as funny as the books, but they really nailed the characters. In fact, I'll say they improved the characters on the books. Characters like Rowley are a lot more likable, and I would recommend watching these, even if you haven't read the books. They're still solid family films. What else? Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I have such a soft spot for this movie. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I know the whole aspect of a person who's bored with their life, who goes out on an adventure, is just such an awesome concept. And this movie isn't perfect, but it was still pretty fun. Oh boy, Dogma. This is actually one of the only DVDs I have that's rare, but man, I had to find an Anon Kijiji and to travel 2 hours on a bus to get this copy, and it was worth it though. This is a pretty cool movie, another movie by Kevin Smith. Love the artwork, and yeah, it's kind of a shame this is out of print, but I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'd recommend it if you could find a copy, that is. Oh, The Mummy Returns. Yeah, one of my biggest guilty pleasures with the Mummy movies. I mean, they're good, they're kind of silly, but they're a lot of fun as well. I'd recommend The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. Haven't seen the third one in a while, so can't say much about it. Oh yeah, and the Devil Wimpy Kid Dog Days. I remember getting this on Target before Target closed down in Canada. It's still around in America, but it was kind of a shame. They had a good selection of DVDs and video games. Okay, last but not least, Blu-Rays. I just started collecting them recently, so the collection's still pretty puny, but these are the ones that I have a soft spot for. Army of Darkness in a steelbook. That's just pretty awesome. I really love the artwork. Just kind of scared I might wreck this, but yeah, just gotta be careful. It's really cool, and there's 3 versions of the movie. Theatrical, director's cut, and international, which is pretty cool. Bumblebee. Yeah, I really like this movie. It's like that perfect mix of like wholesomeness and that Michael Bay action that you see in a Transformers movie. And I really liked it, you know. It's an awesome movie, and watching it on Blu-ray really helped. It looks really good on Blu-ray. District 9, another steelbook. I believe I got this one when Sunrise Records was closing. It's a really cool cover, you know. District 9, in case you haven't seen it. It's a pretty cool and unique sci-fi movie. So, yeah. E.T. Not my favorite Spielberg movie, but still pretty solid. I like how this Blu-ray looks like a book. That's pretty cool. Jurassic Park. You know, awesome movie. Probably one of my favorite Spielberg movies, but yeah. Like, watching it on Blu-ray, some scenes looked really good, but some scenes looked a little blurry. But overall, it looked pretty neat. Like, there was a bit of a visual upgrade that I noticed. Let's see. Oh yeah, Once Upon a Deadpool. This is an interesting case, because they basically re-released the Deadpool 2, which was R-rated and PG-13, and added some scenes. So, yeah, it's a unique cut of Deadpool 2, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Talladega Nights. This is a comedy movie that never gets old, no matter how many times you rewatch it, and it kind of became tradition, like, for me to see this every few years, and that's pretty cool, you know. So I didn't go through all of these, but the point is, I love collecting physical media, regardless of whether it's movies, books, or video games. And the reason why I was focusing on video games and movies is because with books, I feel like many people still prefer reading them physically, but with movies and video games, everyone has kind of moved on to the digital side. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's kind of sad that people don't really get the appeal of collecting physical media, and yeah, and hopefully these stores that still sell these sort of things survive for far longer, because it's different, you know, like actually holding a movie, like going through the collection and deciding which movie to watch, in contrast to just going through the Netflix's catalog. It feels different, you know. And I guess the whole point of this video is I like physical media, like I said for the 100th time, and I guess I just want to share some memories, and I guess I just like fiction and plastic. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching this, guys, and see ya.